So now we've made it to step number 9. That's drilling the remaining holes for reaming. And then we're going to ream the holes to size. Then we're going to go around and countersink all of the holes that we just reamed, the top and the bottom of the plate. And on that final countersink, all we're looking to do is just break the edge. We're not trying to add a feature that we can measure that wasn't included on the print. We're just trying to remove the burr. Now, a few things to mention about reaming is, I have information on this sheet of paper right here that says for this project with our equipment and the sizes that I assign my students, a 30-second small on the or undersize on the drill for the reamer is going to be acceptable. The reason that I'm going with a 32nd and not a 64th, which you might find as the recommended in some textbooks, is it's often the case that our drill bits have been hand resharpened and they're going to produce a hole that's slightly oversized. And then if you take into account some of our tool holders, the Morse taper shanks have a little bit of damage, and our spindles have a little bit of damage inside. So that's all going to add more and more run out. And it's not that hard for a drill bit to cut a 64th over its diameter. And well, that's why we don't do it. If you go and you are going to ream to a 1/2 inch and you grab a 64th smaller drill bit, but it drills larger than a 64th of error, well, now you don't have any material for that reamer to actually remove. Reamers have multiple cutting points. A drill bit has 2 flutes or 2 cutting edges, where this reamer here has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 cutting edges. Now, what we can do with the increased number of cutting surfaces is we can increase the feed rate. And the feed rate was, again, the distance this reamer is going to travel through the plate per every rotation of the spindle. So the rule of thumb is twice the feed, half of the speed. And the speed is the RPM. All right, so for the RPM for the reamer, so 400 divided by 0.4375, so 900 RPMs is the rough calculation. Half of that, 450. 450 RPMs is what I'm gonna ream this at, and I'm gonna bump my feed up to the highest feed that this machine has. The power feed would not engage. So for the 7/8 reamer, we have 400 divided by 0.875. So about 450 would be our RPM for the drill bit. So we're gonna go half of that. And on this machine, 215 is as close as we can get. All right, so here's our finished part. You can see the finish on the reamed hole is a much better finish than you get with the drill bit. See the center hole, it's kind of a small hole. And then I just barely broke the edge with the chamfer tool.